อ Yes, yes. Welcome to High and Homegrown. I'm Marge, and this week we're joined by Mackie. Do you want to go ahead?
Hello, everybody.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's Marge. You see that, everybody? It's Marge. We tried to mix it up, do something a little bit different there. Something. I suppose it takes practice. You got to know the script for the intro.
I know,
Right.
I've only heard it like 6,000 times, but
Yeah, but
I guess there goes to professionalism, I guess, whatever.
no, that was perfect. That's perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yes, everybody, and welcome to High on Homegrown, the cannabis podcast from PercysGrowRoom.com. I am Mackie from the UK, and joining us this week, as you already know, we have Marge.
I feel like I almost nailed it, but not quite after listening to you do that.
So
the
close.
Second time through.
So close.
I forgot the yes, everybody. How could I not include everybody?
And you know what? Even the thing is, Marge, even after all this time, you sometimes when I do like the interview, I have to record the intro separately, and I'll be like, yes, everyone. I'm like, is that right? That's not what I say. Is it? So it's one of those. Yeah. So sorry, Marge. There we go.
No, that's okay. Yeah, this is Marge, second time through. Coming at you from Central Canada, Ontario, to be specific, host of Bite Me, the show about edibles, and just really glad to be here today.
Nice. We also have Monkey Do.
Hey, everybody. Monkey down here in the Southeast U.S. Not doing the intro today. Not at all like that, but just kind of enjoying a regular old Sunday down here in the South, Hope everybody's got something nice to smoke on. And I think we have some special guests this week, don't we?
Special guest from the deepest, darkest depths of the UK. We have Billy the Ballbag Bonds,
aka the roving reporter.
Yo,
what's up, Billy? What's up, bro?
What's up, man? Good. Nice and Cornwall here at the moment. Been quite a reasonable day. A little bit chilly but sunny, so all good. Nice to hear a professional sort of intro for a reason.
It was good there for the first 10 seconds or so until I got involved.
Yeah.
Not
bad.
We try. The effort is always there. Right. So we sorry, Billy, you were finished?
I was just gonna say hi to all the guys in chat, really, because I bet they're all surprised I'm here. And like, yeah, hello.
He's infiltrated the panel.
That's right.
And this is something we want to start doing a little bit more of, everybody, is getting some of you listeners out there on the panel for the news. This is episode 101 of news. Now, we want to try and treat it a little bit like a series 3 kind of thing, because we had series 1 way back in the day with a different structure. Then we've had series 2 for the last couple of years, and we've done the 3 episodes a week. But that's going to be changing a little bit now, because it's a lot of work doing 3 episodes a week. So we're going to try and cut it down to 2 episodes a week, not do the grow guides for a little while, and we want to try and get some of you guys out there from the listener land out here onto the panel just to come and discuss the news with us. What else is there? There's lots of things, man. Lots of things. But we'll talk about that more. Sorry, Mike.
I guess we should maybe tell them a little bit about what the news we found out recently about Down Under.
Oh, yeah, that one too.
Yeah, that one. It's like we should really lead with that, maybe, as why we're doing a lot of these changes.
Yeah. So Bubble Hockey's not able to join us anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, it's good for him. He's out. He's he's doing well. He's working hard. He's got that new job. He's just taking up a lot of his time, so he's not able to join us. And, quick shout out to Bubble Hock. And he's always welcome when he gets time off, if he can be bothered to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and come and join us on a fucking Monday. Then, he's always welcome, man. He's a good friend of the show and will remain so. But he's out there just earning money, as you're supposed to do. So
yeah,
good luck.
Dodging nature and staying alive in the outback of Oz.
Yeah, he has to wear his professional socks all week.
It's not like no more Bubble Hockey. He will be back at some point. It's just when he has time to. He's a busy guy.
Yeah, he basically sent us a message saying that he's kind of open end on his return, basically not knowing when that's going to happen. So shares open whenever it happens.
That's right. So we want some of you guys to jump in and be on the panel now and again. Just special guest guys kind of thing. So let us know if that's something you're interested in.
Hey, back glasses, guy. I've got my dress socks on today. That's it, back.
That's it.
Yeah, all three.
All
Just
three.
3 socks. Just 3 socks.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so unfortunately
Marge is a
that's
trooper putting up with
that's
all this stuff. Yeah.
yeah, so unfortunately that's what's going on with Bubble, but he will be back in the future at some point, just when he gets time to.
Shouldn't we all smoke a joint
Yeah.
Australian style? Does that mean we have to stand on our head or something in the UK?
Well, since it's on the bottom of the earth, I guess you got to light the back end of it first and smoke
Yeah.
it. Smoke it from the
Smoke
filter.
it backwards, yeah.
Smoke the thin end to the fat end. Jeez.
Reverse cone it.
Damn. Right, yeah, so that's that one sorted. There's no more news to add before that, really, until we move on to the news. We do have some good news articles today. We're also going to try and finish the future cannabis news episodes with a happy or funny news article, so we can leave it all on a nice cheery note. And we have a nice special one for you all when we get to the end of the news.
That's that article. Oh
Yeah.
man,
It's a really shitty news article, but we'll tell you more about that when we get to the end of the news here. But it's going to be fun. Yeah. So quick shout out there to Billy. Thanks for joining us, Billy. It's good to have you on the panel, man. Thanks for coming to join us and chat some shit with us.
Cool. No
What are you smoking on? What you got?
I'm actually smoking some of Monkey's seeds. It is strawberry cough.
Smoking seeds, bro.
Yeah, well, not your seeds, obviously.
I'll try that myself.
One of the plants I grew from it.
Cool.
It's the Acapulco Gold strawberry cough.
And that you're the first one that has actually told me that one's finished and been sampled.
Yep.
How do you like it? What's it like?
And it's this one is sweet onion. I would say.
Onion?
Be the,
Sweet?
Yeah, sweet onion.
Sweet
Quite nice,
caramelized onion.
Yeah, in a way.
Ooh.
It went a bit purple as well
Yeah.
because of the cold, so I think that could maybe have something to do with how it tastes as well, possibly.
Yeah, the strawberry cough did have a lot of purple in that pheno that I used to make that cross with. So there you go.
That definitely has come out, and I actually think it's quite nice, actually.
Interesting. I'll definitely have to put that on my rotation then.
It's just past the dealer stage, so it's all like pretty much crispy and dry to smoke. So it's I would
just
say that
past the dealer dry stage.
Yeah, just past the dealer dry stage. There you go.
Nice.
It's the buds were quite nice, chunky, smelly. The living soul done it good.
Nice, cool, man.
There is pictures on Discord of it, and I'll put a fresh picture of the buds up when.
Nice. Uplifting or couch lock?
I don't know, to be honest. Because I smoke all the time.
I get that.
Yeah, if you understand, you have to be a recreational user, or you have to have a break from smoking to sort of get that. I'm just constantly on cannabis for painkilling. It's quite good for pain. You know what I mean? I've not noticed so much pain where I've been using it all day. So I have been using it with the Gilbert Super Silver Haze as well, which is quite nice. So, but yeah, it complements it. It goes well with the two. So yeah.
Look at Billy out here growing all this special stuff with special seeds and stuff, man. Nice.
Yeah, no.
Love it,
man. Nice. What you got, Marge? You on some edibles today?
I do have some edibles. Actually, I have a little Turkish delight, which I might snack on in a minute here. Your favorite.
Jesus.
Now, is it infused though?
Yes, it is.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I didn't make it though. I that is an experiment I won't be trying again. So it's such a waste of ingredients when it doesn't turn out the way you want it to. So yeah. And then I don't know. I have a selection of weed. I'm not sure what I'm gonna pick yet. Maybe a little crystalline entity, possibly.
Sweet. I'm looking at making some gummies. That's gonna be my mission over the next couple of weeks. I got some coconut oil.
Nice.
I'm just doing all the maths, trying to figure everything out, and then we've got just gotta make some. We've got some gummy molds, little dinosaur gummy molds. Very cool.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna be strawberry flavor. I only want them to be like 5 to 10 milligrams, so I'm not looking at making them very strong. Because if I wanted to be strong, I can eat 10 of them. I cannot uneat a 50 milligram edible. I can slowly eat 10 5 milligram edibles.
Right. I would rather do that anyway myself than have like one tiny little edible and be like, well, okay, that was good. I'd rather eat like the 10 edibles or the 10 gummies.
Do you remember them little strawberry sweets? The like the 1 and 2 penny sweets, which were strawberry ones. They were like soft, chewy ones.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'd love edible ones of them.
Yeah. I like the cola bottles, you know those. And I saw there's
Yeah,
some really
They,
cool
they don't
recipes
make
where
them the
you
same
can
though.
just get jelly, and that's like Jello. You guys call it in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
UK, and just add gelatin to that and turn that into gummies.
That's the
Yeah.
easiest way to do it.
yeah, you
Marge,
can do that.
it's not really a gummy, Marge will tell you. You know, it's more like you're basically eating a piece of jelly, not a gummy.
Yeah,
That's
they
how
do
Uh,
the
I
simple
know
jelly
them.
mixed in.
but it's the easiest thing you can possibly do as far as making it edible, in my opinion. It's like no work.
Yeah, gummies can be a little finicky, but
Hmm.
yeah, the Jello based ones are definitely more like eating a piece of Jello, but they
Nice.
are.
Edible Angel Delight.
But I'd make those Jello based ones frequently, and my friends love them actually. You know, every time I break out the container and share them, it's like, yeah, they may not taste wonderful, but your friends will love them.
Right.
Nice. I'm not sharing them. Jesus.
Oh,
No, I know you wouldn't. No, I mean,
They're
I've been known,
mine.
weed is
I've
a
been known to bring a
weed.
few to a party, a birthday party once or twice. You know,
Well,
yeah.
my mother's been having trouble sleeping lately, and I don't want to smoke it, so I'm gonna think she might be able to make some use of it. Hopefully, it'll help her get some sleep. But anyway, what are you smoking now, Monkey? What you got?
I've got 9 gummies in my hand. No worries there. 'Cause they're
Do
only
it, do it, do it.
I plan on it. There's only 4 milligrams each, so we're only talking about 36, 37 mils. And
Do
then
it, man.
some,
Slam them all, Monkey.
fruit
Do it.
bonds.
Do it.
Well, as soon as I get off the microphone, I will. No problem.
Oh, you're gonna wait until later. Okay, okay.
No, right now.
All right.
Okay.
Nice. He's gonna mute so
Signing
we
off.
don't just hear him chewing.
Right.
Some ASMR from Monkey Do. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, man. So I think we're all ready for the news. There's nothing else to add here right now, so we'll move on to the news stories. I think. Are we all ready to go? Ready to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds
Do
good.
it.
Let's do it. So here we are for this week's cannabis news and events. We have, I think, do we have 5 stories, 6 stories? We have plenty to be covering today. I don't know which one we should start with. Anybody want to jump in and volunteer for the first story?
I'll go
I'll-
first.
Yeah, let him
Yeah.
have it.
Go on,
Let me
go on,
do it.
Billy. You can do it. You can do it.
Well, I'll start with like a shortish one. This is basically in the UK, a wonder drug. Is the UK ready for a green rush of medical cannabis? So this is printed in the Guardian and the Observer in the UK. So they basically the same paper, pretty much, just got the same writers crossed over. So here we go. In the US, medical cannabis is a multi-billion-dollar industry, as obviously we all know, and basically saying the UK is one of Britain's top secret growing facilities, is now started to grow a lot more, sort of thing. So you might not quite notice, but Britain is in the midst of a cannabis revolution. It says, has potential to reshape modern medicine. It's happening quickly and quietly, with all scientists and doctors ushering a new era of high-tech flower power. As of today, over 60 countries have legalized a form of medical cannabis since November 2018. And obviously, the same as in the UK. Some 30,000 people have been prescribed cannabis for conditions ranging from arthritis to epilepsy, all sorts across the board. And at Curaleaf, Harley Street, some guy, the reporter met Chris Cohen, right, who's the CEO of this new facility. And it's in they've got he's been using it cannabis since 90s in Warwickshire he's from, so he's been using it for PTSD all the time. So he's set up a new facility, and he's been using this drug for like what 30, 40 years sort of thing. So since until his 30s and 40s, then he set up this facility, right? And in this facility, there's over 100,000 square foot, over 200 cameras, state-of-the-art cannabis growing facility with sky-high fencing, airlock doors, and number plate recognition. To visit it, you need an NDA, so a non-disclosure agreement must be
What
signed
the
to ensure
fuck?
no details emerge from its top-secret location. Its vast grey buildings have no exterior signature or branding, ensuring anonymity. The only slight giveaway is the company's co-founders, Paul except it's the stench of cannabis wafting out across the industrial estate. They've planned to put a high-tech filtration system in, but it's like, whoa, what? To me, that's a bit surprising, really. It's like, how have they not put one in? Right?
Because they don't fucking have to,
mad.
do they?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what?
Yeah, I mean, ask yourself, would you use a smell filter if you didn't have to? I wouldn't.
Especially
No,
the
but
fucking size
obviously
of one you'd need for one like that.
Yeah, it's just
Really?
the smell is going to get the complaints of, like, if I stand in my garden and smoke it, sort of thing. You get complaints from the neighbours just from smoking a joint. Let a whole industrial estate. This, to me, it just seems a bit like, well, isn't there regulations saying that they should have that in there? It's like, here we go on, like, Celadon was set up in 2018, and they two business partners in about for medical legislation sort of thing. There was one of the first firms in the UK to be granted a cannabis growing license. So far, 20 million has been invested on top of the 30 million value of their site. That's 50
Wow.
million pound they've put into this facility alone, just this
Wow.
facility, without even sort of like them paying the staff on top, I assume. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're saying they're betting on big returns. Well, obviously,
Wow,
cannabis,
fucking.
yeah,
With that
money,
kind of
money,
investment,
money.
you better
Yeah,
be, yeah.
it's like, yeah. So I grow a plant and get put on a tag. These invest 50 million and get given a grant from the government, probably somewhere along the line. Like, the market expects the global medical cannabis industry generated in the US 6.2 billion in 2020. A number expected to reach 53.88 billion by 2030.
Wow.
Well, man, I think
So
they're a little bit off on that because I just saw a figure for Missouri's last year was 1.2 billion alone. So yeah, their numbers are shy, I'd say, on those estimates of 2020, 2020, 2030, kind of things like that. You know,
yeah,
they
sorry,
seem to
Phil.
be they seem to be lowballing the numbers for some reason. I'm kind of wondering if they want to keep those numbers low to keep maybe more people out of the business.
Yeah. So I feel angry just reading about this sort of thing. Like, my palms are sweaty because it just makes
Yeah,
me angry that, like,
it's
they've
fucked anyway.
invested
It's fucked.
50 million. Like, this facility, I think there's one in Cornwall as well, which is it could be this one or similar. Like, it's annoying. It's like, oh
But yeah, why are these guys allowed to do it?
yeah,
And we're not
I,
allowed to do it. And
yeah,
it's like we're not even
exactly,
allowed
yeah.
to do it for personal use. It's just for us. It's not even to share with anybody or sell to anybody. It's just your own personal supply of cannabis.
Yeah.
And we are not allowed to do that. But these people can have these huge gardens and shit. Ridiculous.
This one at full capacity, this facility will provide medicine for over 50,000 patients. But what? That's roughly 9 tons of cannabis they reckon they're going to produce a year.
Lightweights.
I actually thought the same thing too. I'm thinking like you got that facility and you only can pull 9 tons. Really?
Yeah, you know, pussies. It is very frustrating though. Sorry, Billy.
Yeah. So as it says here, everything we are currently growing is connected to a private clinic. Longer term, we're looking to develop and produce new medicines. It's like, well, what? You ain't going to be new medicines. It's just going to be like cannabis oils and edibles from different plants. It's like
A
what
new
spray
extract of the same medicine
Yeah,
again.
it's
Yeah.
like it's like fucking, yeah. It's all
Yeah. And I think
old
most of
pharmacological
most of the
really.
hardcore cannabis old community basically wants the whole plant, not
Yeah.
you to dissect it and chop it into pieces.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't even know the shopping what that does to it. So it's, to me, it's just a bit annoying. But
Yeah,
man.
it's like, but it's also goes on to say, like, beyond the secure doors is a growing space, cavernous rooms connected by a maze of concrete corridors, plants and cutting to move room to room through their life cycle. So just like most people would on like a day, it's like done normally. So I bet everyone's
Yeah.
in full. It says like everyone donning full body scrubs. Like, it's, to me, it's just, I'm gonna stop here sort of because it just
yeah,
goes
Billy,
on and
calm
on and
down,
on.
man.
But
Jesus, bro.
it's like,
We have
for
to freak
fuck's
out
sake,
for, man. Gosh.
No, they actually do use the full body scrubs or moon suits in some cannabis grows in some states. It all depends upon the regulations on how clean it has to be.
Yeah,
Um,
and again, all this article goes on like David Nutt's in it, and it just mentions all the stuff he's done, obviously like the epileptic kids and shit, and but it's just like
mhm.
it's the same shit over and over and over again. But it's just all it seems is these big businesses are allowed to put in millions and millions to then take millions out, all while everyone else just suffers and dies.
And
Mhm.
and
But
you know, the bullshit thing as well is these people have essentially hired the government to send out their goons to go and kick off the door of anybody
yeah,
who tries to compete with them. It's
basically,
fucked.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fucked.
Well, you ain't giving me my fucking money for my drugs, mate.
I
You ain't
mean,
growing your own.
just a quick shout out to that Mad Dog in the chat there. It says, Billy Rant, love it. You know what I'm saying? Taking some of the pressure off Mackie. I like it. But a
Don't
quick
worry,
shout
Mac
out
can
there
wind up.
to Brad Bamcord there as well in the chat. He said, love this show. And John Carlson said, it is the best. Nice. Thanks, lads. Yeah, glad you're enjoying the show, man. But
But
yeah.
again, it's just I'm just trying to highlight there's another facility popping up in the UK to grow medical cannabis. But like they want 50,000 people. It's like, well, we do need these facilities, that's for
Mm-hmm,
sure. But
mm-hmm.
like change the laws so everyone can benefit from it right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you would even earn even more billion because not everyone's got that 50 million to invest, have they?
Well, I think this is this is
Or
a good.
or the land in the UK. To be honest, to get the facility in the UK, it's impossible. Do you have the acres and
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
acres of land to build a big warehouse? And
Well,
no,
you know,
Yeah.
so
what we all really want is the ability for these patients like you and me to be able to grow their own legally
yeah,
at their own home.
yeah,
That's what we
exactly,
really
yeah.
want.
And for someone, Joe Blogs, to go and buy it from a shop because he wants it. You know what I mean? Whoever the
Yeah.
pharmaceutical companies can have their hands in that as well. If they want, people will or won't buy it, wouldn't they? Sort of thing. So it's like
Well, Billy mentioned
just
there
leave
about
it to
taxes as well, how much taxes, and that's a nice point where we can segue into this news article here from the UK as well, where Richard Branson is getting involved. You know that guy? Remember that guy, the virgin, the 40-year-old
Who is
virgin?
he now?
God.
Is that him? He said,
Yeah.
"Should Britain legalize cannabis?" Virgin boss Richard Branson thinks so.
Okay.
Yeah, and petitions of hundreds of thousands of people mean less than just what this man has to say, apparently. Virgin boss Richard Branson has appealed to the UK government to legalise and regulate cannabis, claiming it would save lives and bring in more tax. That's about all you need to fucking know, really. You know, this article
Yeah.
continues, but pretty much it's the man's talking sense. We go on about this every week. This is saving
the
lives.
money.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big part of it, that saving lives. And it's like, but weed doesn't kill anybody. And it's like, no, but the fact that it is illegal increases gang activity in certain areas. And that's where it's saving lives. You know, we have a terrible knife crime epidemic going on here in the UK. And gang crime, gang-related crime, is a cause of a lot of it. And that would be reduced massively if cannabis was legalized and regulated properly. But, you know, they don't want to play like that. So this article here continues. It says the entrepreneur and tycoon penned a heartfelt blog saying the move makes sense and that the efforts to legalize it are ones he has long supported. Has he? I'd like to find out about that. You know, do some research into it and just see what his stance was, say, 20 years ago. See if he's really been a supporter of cannabis for very long. Branson said he backed it because it would wrestle control from those in charge of the illicit market, including gangs, which would reduce harm and ultimately make people and communities safer.
Okay, I would have
Simple.
to agree with that though, because any state that I've visited that has legal recreational cannabis, even though there is or illegal sales, you can't really compete when there's a legal cannabis market in there. It becomes hard for these illegal things to make huge profits, and so the illegal market shrinks.
Yeah.
It's still there, but it doesn't thrive.
Can I ask, Monkey, is the illegal market there sort of more like just Joe Blogs growing some in his garage and been able
Pretty
to knock
much.
it out? Because
Yeah.
so it's not big, it's not cartels. It's just some dude earning some side
Exactly.
money because he can't afford to live. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
It would be too expensive to bring it in bales and in secret and stuff like that. It's already legal there. So
Yeah.
usually in those kind of unregulated markets, it's local growers most frequently that's just selling in some excess.
Man, just give him a fucking license and let him sell it out his
Right.
garage, man. If people don't like it, they don't like it. do they? They won't
Marge,
buy it.
is it pretty much the same way there that, the illegal market is just some guy growing on his own, or do you have actually huge corporations or gangs growing?
You don't have corporations typically, I don't think, but I think
Right.
there may still be some gangs from what I've heard, like people have said, because there's still there's a lot of dispensaries on reserves. And I've heard
Okay.
that sometimes they'll buy weed from biker gangs, which are still pretty prevalent in Canada, but I don't know the veracity of that. I think it still is a lot of people just growing their own shit and selling the excess.
All right. Well, sorry,
Yeah.
Mac, I didn't mean to go there, but
Yeah,
it's
what's with
kinda
the
like an interesting
tangents?
point.
Jesus.
Well, it's kind of like high on homegrown. It's what we
Oh,
do.
gosh.
You know?
I'll
Be the
carry
right
on here.
thing.
It says, this comes after it was reported by Politico this week that while Rishi Sunak's government is looking to effectively ban smoking, he might look to relax cannabis farming regulations for medical use. I wonder why that could be. And we reported a news article on the YouTube channel this week. It just put a random live stream up. It's about 10 minutes long, and it's reporting Victoria Atkins, whose husband is the owner of British Sugar that grows medical cannabis, is now the health secretary here in the UK. So, no conflict of interest or anything, no crookedness going on here.
Quiet.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
And so
right.
you really-
Say nothing
you-
and move on.
Possibly think that Branson may actually see an opportunity here and kind of lining up a few things and just saying,
He's probably got
whatever.
shares in it already. He's going to be ahead of the... Before he's come out and said this, he's going to got shares in something because he knows by him saying something like that, he's going to improve the price of the shares of any particular cannabis company in the UK.
Damn.
That's what I would
Yeah,
think.
probably-
That's what I would do
Probably
if I was
invested
him.
in a lot of these new ones.
Yeah.
I'd say I would. It maybe even own the land or the warehouses.
Yeah.
As well, we've got to remember the land in the UK, which is where the money is, being the landlord for these businesses. You can charge them extra.
So we have here as well. There have long been calls for the UK to legalise and regulate the drug to follow the European countries which have done so. Like which ones? Also, in a bid to prevent the use of harder drugs. Again, the whole gateway drug bullshit. In June 2022, a report suggested that the UK's cannabis industry could be worth more than 1 billion by 2026, while London Mayor Sadiq Khan had previously spoken about being open to its legislation. That was when they were talking about decriminalising the possession of cannabis in London for anybody under the age of 24. I don't know who comes up with this shit. But anyway... In May 2022, during a visit to Los Angeles, he met with the members of the police force, the LAPD, the public health officials and licensed sellers as he announced the beginning of the fact-finding commission into decriminalisation. The illegal drugs trade causes huge damage to our society and we need to do more to tackle this epidemic and further debate around our drug laws, he said. He added the UK's drug policy wasn't working and politicians need to learn from others in how to tackle it. According to ITV News this week, 6.5 million people in the UK are using CBD products such as oils which are legal. The industry is now reportedly worth 300 million, with experts branding current laws ridiculous because products from cannabis flower are illegal regardless of whether it contains a psychoactive THC substance. Some of the proscribed CBD products, that's what he says, proscribed. It's supposed to be prescribed. Prescribed? I don't know what it is. Wow. Anyway, yeah. Some users of the proscribed CBD products have spoken about having their houses raided and being arrested. Branson said he's part of a global commission. I think the WEF is what he means. He's part of a global commission on drug policy, stating his views that no one should be criminalized, marginalized, or stigmatized for simple possession and personal use of illicit drugs. I couldn't agree more, Mr. Branson. So Branson, not Branston, not like the pickle. That's some good shit as well, Branston pickle and cheese, and the crackers. Do you guys get Branston? Oh, you don't have Branston pickle?
No clue.
No? Oh, Jesus. You have to get some. You always go on at me. You got to try this new food. Got to eat this insect ass. You got to try the Branston pickle with some cheese, man.
The chunky version, the original chunky version, not the sandwich spread one.
Yeah, and that's some good shit, man. Yeah, anyway, getting distracted now. I want some fucking pickle and cheese now.
See, there it is. But time out. Becky's got to leave. Got to go get
That's
pickle
right.
and cheese. We'll be back in 20.
Yeah, join us in 20 minutes after a short break. The Virgin boss, who also argued
We'll play
cannabis. Sorry, Monkey.
I said we'll play the weight tone while you will go.
Yeah, the Virgin boss also argued cannabis being illegal means providers sell stronger strains. Oh, don't ruin it now, Richard. You was doing well until you started chatting this shit. Yeah, so the Virgin boss also argued cannabis being illegal means providers sell stronger strains which are more dangerous because they get higher returns. Pleading with the government to change course, he said, the only effective response to this dilemma is to decriminalise and legally regulate cannabis, offering not only greater transparency and choice to consumers, but ultimately greater safety. And this article does continue for a little bit longer, but I think that will do. I mean, it says everything right there. There's nothing really to add here.
Yeah, but you know that whole thing about illegal stronger means more dangerous thing. We've said it too many times. That's not real. That's no, I'm sorry.
What happened to his fact-finding mission?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Where's your evidence on that one?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been said so many times. I think it's just become, you know, one of these urban myths that everybody believes now. Oh, that's strong. You better be careful with that. I would say, yeah, for a new smoker, you want to be careful with that. But for an experienced smoker, they pretty much understand if it's stronger, you're going to get higher faster, so you're not going to use as much. Big deal.
So do you think is he suggesting they decriminalize or legalize in the UK because he's hoping to cash in?
I think so, but I don't know I don't know what his motives are. You know, I wouldn't like to try and suggest that I know what his motives are. That's the thing, isn't it? It's like you've had all this time to speak out, and
right?
Sees money making opportunities, in my opinion. That's what I would think, but I don't know. Maybe he's just suddenly seen the light. Maybe he's just smoking a couple of joints on one of his islands.
He's always been in favour of cannabis.
Has he?
I'm not sure why. Yeah. So like, it's probably 20 years ago he's probably coming about. Sure. Like,
maybe it's the skeptic in me. But every time I hear a millionaire or a billionaire say that they're turning in favor of cannabis, I always say why.
He's always been on the side for both reasons, because he does know it causes trouble, but for the money, he see the money.
Right.
Stupid.
We said it much?
Oh, I was just saying that they're always just like, it's better for the people, makes the streets safer, but really they're like, we just want the money. We're just trying to cash.
I did hear something to those lines though recently, and it wasn't from a wealthy person. Basically, this was the governor of Hawaii came out recently and said that he's openly supporting recreational cannabis legalization because he believes that making recreational cannabis legal, I want to say it like he did something. Recreational cannabis could offer an alternative to the bad drugs on the street. It's like, yeah, okay, I know what you're saying, mister, and I can't really argue against that. You know, I'd rather see somebody experiment with cannabis than heroin or something like that. But
100%.
But it was interesting to see that we have a politician that's now coming out and telling, another state governor is coming out and saying, look, if you send me a bill, I will sign it instantly, not a problem. And by the way, this would be good for the community. And
this was in Hawaii.
Hawaii, yeah. So
it's not legal there yet then.
No, they had a bill that died on the way out. It's just they couldn't get it passed into his hands, but they're trying.
This is a nice way to segue into the next news article from Monkey Do, because there's been a vote that was supposed to be passed in Washington and it didn't get a vote. What was the story there, Monkey? What's that?
Well, Washington State was one of the first states in the United States to go medically legal and then eventually go recreationally legal as well. But in a rush to get the bill through into a recreational legal situation, when they passed the bill for recreational legalization and adult use, Homegrow was not included in that. And ever since then, it's still not there. So we're still going on and on and on. And we're still trying to get Homegrow for recreational users legal in Washington State. Now, it is legal for Homegrow for medical patients with the proper license. So before we even get into the article, this is referring to adult use recreational Homegrow. So it says Washington State cannabis Homegrow proposal dies in House committee without getting a vote. Okay, adults in Washington State who grow cannabis at home will continue to face the threat of felony charges, at least for another year, following a House committee's failure to advance a cannabis homegrow bill ahead of a legislative deadline this week. House Bill 2194 was not called for a vote in the House Appropriations Committee before the February 5th deadline as for bills to pass out of the fiscal panels, meaning it's no longer eligible to move forward. The cannabis home cultivation measure passed out of a separate House committee last month, though lawmakers on both sides of the aisle said that they were wary of the change. I don't know why these lawmakers are scared to give these recreational growers the right to grow. I mean, they keep saying they're scared of the change, but they won't say what they're afraid of. That's crazy. Washington was, go ahead, sorry, Marge.
No, sorry, I just said that's suspect for sure.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's somebody's got money being made here. That's all I can say. Washington was one of the first U.S. states to legalize adult use cannabis, passing a ballot initiative in 2012. Growing cannabis for personal use without a state medicinal card, however, remains a Class C felony, carrying a fine up to 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine.
Wow.
Legislator, that's severe, isn't it? For growing a little bit of your own medicine in your own house, you could go to jail for 5 years and cost you 10 grand.
Is that, who does it even benefit? You know, what's the point in a prison sentence like that? It's ridiculous.
Well,
that fucks up your whole life too for like the rest of your living days.
Yeah.
Is that a mandatory term as well? Like you get that no matter what? Like the judge don't even think about it.
This says up to, so that means it's that's your maximum sentences right there. But what I found is
discretion.
In most states, in the United States, even though the world thinks that we are softer on cannabis, usually there are penalties that can be imposed. The state where I live, the number of dollars in fine would be 50,000, and the years in prison probably would be higher than 5. But yeah, these penalties do exist across the board in states in the United States. So this is not unusual, and it's, you know, we're far from being friendly to people who break the law with cannabis still.
So he's still got to be on the judge's good side, or he's got to be in a good mood, like he's just like woke up for a nice morning with his missus, or just landed from Epstein's Island, sort of happy mood.
It's highly possible, Billy. Yeah, and I will also say that, you know, I'll admit this point blank that yes, it depends upon the color of my skin and how I am dressed and who my attorney is as to what punishment I would get. And I hate to say it, but in America, this is still just a fact of life. Just the way it is. So legislative efforts to allow personal cultivation stretch back to at least 2015, but so far each has failed. Lead sponsor, Representative Shelley Klobla, Democrat, did not immediately respond for a request to comment. The bill is actually a long time coming, Klobla said to co-colleagues last month in the committee hearing. This is something that many other states have done, and it's time for us to do it as well. If passed, House Bill 2194 would have allowed adults 21 and older to grow up to 4 plants per person with no more than 10 allowed per household. Okay, fair, you know, but I think I like the one that what was the state we were in recently that had was like 6 and 12. I like that number better than the 4 and 10 numbers. Among the Democrats,
I forgot who that was. I can't remember who that was.
Oh, that was New York. That was New York. That's what they were proposing to allow when they go in there. And also they were allowing up to a 5-pound possession limit, which I think is excellent because patients, some patients are going to need that if you're making RSO and whatnot. So, yeah. Among the Democrats to speak out against the proposal was Representative Christy Reeves, a Democrat who said last month that a lot of unanswered questions in this bill with serious unintended consequences. Now, they didn't say what these unanswered questions are, you know? Specifically, Reeves said that the bill failed to envision how discarded plant material will be disposed of after marijuana is harvested. She recoiled when a commenter suggested you could simply put it into a compost bin, saying, I don't know if you're helping the argument with that correlation. Thank you. Now, wait a minute, guys. Yeah, what do you do with your old plant material, guys? I compost it.
Well, then would you do that with any like discarded plant material? Like whether it's weed or some other, I don't know, plant of some kind. Like, well, what's the point of the compost?
I don't understand what the guy's problem is, or the person's problem is with this, because when a cannabis plant in the nature dies, it falls to the ground and it rots and becomes compost. So what's the big deal here? We're just doing what nature does. And how else are we going to dispose of this thing? What are we going to do? Entomb it in concrete coffins and bury it? I don't get the problem here. I really don't. Okay. First of all, maybe they think you can get high by smoking the stems or something.
Or like eating the soil after it's been turned into compost. And be like, no, the children might eat the dirt and get high.
I don't
End up
know.
around a composter, obviously.
I used to eat dirt when I was a kid,
I'm laughing
right?
at this one so much. It's
Yeah,
crazy
baggy
when you think
trousers.
about this. Yeah, it's nuts.
Well, I'm not surprised you're eating dirt, Mackie, but seriously, most kids.
What's that supposed to mean? Jesus.
I just couldn't help myself. I'm pretty sure I ate my fair share of dirt too, but none of it usually came out of the compost bin because that's like
Fresh.
a little too fresh.
Mm.
A little too fresh.
Earthy.
So fresh.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
me.
Yeah, where were we?
Reeves also noted that despite supporters' claims that fewer people would face criminal charges if home cultivation were legalized, there was no guarantee that Black and brown people still wouldn't face discrimination by law enforcement. Well, if you legalize it and they're discriminating against Black and brown people, then that's a law enforcement problem. It's no longer a law problem. That's
Right,
a law
so don't
enforcement.
change it just in case they still face discrimination. Like
Yeah.
that's
In other words, I'm
sense.
sure they're facing it now. So what's the big deal?
100%. This guy.
The hypocrisy in the article is just, I mean, it's there. There's a lot of things that aren't legal, but don't minimize Black interaction with law enforcement, she said. Actually, sitting in a line at Taco Bell has resulted in Black people's death. Standing outside a grocery store smoking a cigarette has resulted in a Black person's death. Well, I'm sorry, but you could put black, white, brown, yellow, purple there because these are stupid statements, people,
Yeah.
People die in their sleep every day. You want to put that in the article? He's making no point here. Colbert said others who spoke to the bill's defense said it stands to reason that fewer people would have interactions with law enforcement if home cannabis cultivation were legalized, but would likely reduce criminal consequences for Black and brown people, at least in absolute terms. But they acknowledge that even as cannabis arrests have dropped across the board since legalization, racial disparities in law enforcement have remained. Again, this is not a law problem. This is a law enforcement problem. So I don't see why they're balking at passing a law when it's not an issue for them to deal with, but issue for a different department.
When it's a training and education problem.
Yeah, really. Somebody needs to have a good talking to or worse, if you will, On the Republican side, lawmakers raised worries about illicit cannabis sales and access to cannabis by minors. Representative Greg Cheney, Republican, asked proponents for a price estimate of what a single plant would be worth, kind of on the open market if you want to sell it. So what kind of question is that? Guys, you're in Washington State and the guy wants to know, if I had a cannabis plant, how much do you think it would be worth? Okay, so if I got a runt, that thing is probably, I'm going to get maybe a half ounce off of it. Wouldn't be worth a whole lot. Or if I'm going to go outside and grow a tree, then that's going to be worth a whole lot more. But the whole point is, what does this have to do with passing a law for Homegrow?
It doesn't really, because the price is, it's not the same when you can walk into a store and buy it as well.
I get it.
Like,
And that's kind of going into that. The next response was, we're not going to sell it, responded Don Cycli, a founder of Homegrow in Washington, which has long supported expanding the state's law to include provisions for home cultivation. So Washington's saying the same thing we're saying, Marge. It said, we're not going to sell it. We just want to grow our own. But the lawmakers are saying, but if you grow your own, you might sell it or you might give it to somebody else. Well, yeah.
Well, would I be able to give it to whoever I want? Like, do I really need the state to get involved to tell me that I can give away something that I grew in my backyard?
Basically,
a tomato?
What they're saying is, like, I don't want you to have the ability to make your own money without me getting my fingers in that fucking pie. Where's my tax and my
God forbid you sell.
Where's my hard labor?
50
Why ain't
bucks
I getting my shit?
Or I don't want you to dilute my ability to charge people for this because you're going to give it to them for free.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's a lot of, we can keep going there on and on with
and then they won't make money because you give someone else something for free. You know what I mean? But
yep.
Well,
I think that's what it's all down. It seems to be
down to the money, literally.
Yeah, and to keep using that toaster weed theory, it's just like, no, it's not really there, Speakers during the public comment last month were overwhelmingly supported the change. Most, including longtime activists, industry members, and concerned citizens, said it would allow consumers and hobbyists to better understand the plant, ensure specific products can be grown without pesticides, and enjoy access to botanical form of the plant in states already allowed to be sold and processed. Ready-to-use products. In other words, you can make your own without any additives. There you go. That's why we all want to do it.
Right.
I mean, the best way to make sure that you have clean medicine is to make your own, right? That's what I've always said. I know everything that's in that cannabis plant when I want to decide I want to consume it. Some also cited evidence that a sizable portion of Washington's cannabis products have included banned pesticides, a problem they say has only gotten worse in recent years. Yes, and that's why we would rather grow it ourselves, people. We don't want the banned stuff. We don't want any pesticides in there. You know, one person who spoke during public comment last month was Pete Holmes, the former Democratic city attorney of Seattle, who helped lead municipal reform around cannabis possession in that city and later backed the ballot push for statewide legalization. I want to emphasize that you're the first in the country to confront prohibition and a lot of unknowns, Holmes said. As prime sponsor of I-502 back in 2012, I can tell you that we struggled with Homegrows. It was left out initially of 502 because we wanted to understand better the viability of the newly legal but heavily regulated and taxed cannabis industry. So I think in that statement right there, the governor of the state, when it was passed, is telling you that they left it out for financial reasons. That's crazy. I hate that. It has since become clear that Washington consumers deserve the right to grow your own for personal use, he continued, as many states that have legalized in the past decade as Washington have already done. Law enforcement, which has opposed the proposal in the past years, took a neutral stance on the new measure. The representative from the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs said at a hearing last month that the group took no formal position whatsoever on the bill. So dead in the water, but I kind of see where maybe they're gaining a little bit of ground here because at least the police department now is not pushing against it. And you've got former governors now encouraging the people to maybe move forward a little bit more, but I'm going to have to be a skeptic and say, I don't see this changing for the next year or two.
Yeah, that's too bad. Those questions that those people were asking that were ridiculous.
Yeah, they are. It's almost like they're not even members of the cannabis community, you know, Marge?
Yeah.
Right.
Stupid how they go to these people, man. It's a damn shame that they're so ignorant. So they're not going to get Homegrow by the look of it. You say for 1 or 2 years, but you know how government works. This shit's going to be going on for a long time.
Well, it doesn't look like they're going to get it during this session unless they have something new or an emergency come up like that. But, you know, I would love to be wrong. I'd love for them to prove me wrong. And I'd love to be able next week to come in and say, guess what? You got it.
If they also looked around at like other legal states where Homegrow is allowed or in Canada, I mean, the dispensaries seem to still be selling quite a bit of weed, despite the fact that somebody can grow it in their house.
Yeah, not everybody.
Somebody said it. I can't remember who it was, Mackie, that we talked to, but somebody said it really recently that we spoke to. Is that no matter how legal Homegrow is, you're always going to have somebody that is just too lazy to grow their own.
Right. Or they don't have the space, or they have roommates or babies, or I don't know. There's a million reasons why somebody might not grow.
I think you're always going to have the majority of the cannabis that's produced is going to be commercially grown. It's just the way it is.
Right. It's
just like that. Tomatoes, same thing. Yeah, we both say
you can buy it at the farmer's market. You can get them from your friend who grew them and has too many. They don't know what to do with them all. You can go to the grocery store, but you have options, and no one's like, "Oh my God, how dare you, grow your own tomatoes in your backyard."
Yeah.
You can only grow 4 plants.
That's right. You can only have 4 tomato plants, and you can only keep six tomatoes at a time in your house.
Right. And don't put the waste in the compost, because I don't know what will happen then.
Yeah, we don't know how do you get rid of the tomato waste.
And
My gosh, think about that.
Then you be roaming the streets with any of them tomatoes in your pocket now.
That's right. The children may get a hold of those tomatoes. What are they going to do with them?
Right.
My gosh. Come on. When you substitute those words, it really does sound completely ignorant.
Ludicrous.
It does.
Yeah.
Ludicrous is a good word.
Well, that's
so where are we going to go from here, man?
Well, with the
for legalization, where do you go from here? I mean, it's like, so you got they keep shooting it down and they keep wanting it. So what do you guys think? What would be a good move for Washington to do at this point? I mean, we can't solve this. I'm just as hypothetical, just throwing it out there. Anybody in the chat got an idea? I mean, this has been going on for 10 years now. They've been trying to get legalization. 10 years.
Wow, man. Fucking hell. Stupid. And Washington was the first one to legalize as well, like you said, wasn't it?
One of the first, yeah.
Yeah. And still going through the struggle, you know.
Well, and we've talked to people that always have said, don't accept any bill. If it's a flawed bill, don't take it, because this is what can happen. Just here's an example.
Wow.
They accepted the bill for what it was worth, and Homegrow is not there. Still not there. But if you're in Washington State and you want to grow your own, just get a medical card.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
The problem is the people in charge are making their own decisions for their own reasons. It's like, well, you should make a decision on behalf of the people you're in charge of, rather than your own bigoted or bribed position. You know what I mean? And that's where we go wrong. But it's not the people in control of our laws.
When you listen to the comments of some of these lawmakers, you would have to almost think that some of these lawmakers actually don't know anything about weed, don't you think?
Yeah,
The comments
for sure.
that they're making, it's just like the compost comment is a great one right there.
It's too funny.
The problem is they also don't want to know anything about it. If someone sent them a big file of the truth, they've probably got it sitting in an email, and then they just won't even read it. You know what I mean?
Right.
these
They've
are
already made up their mind.
They won't even debate someone or listen to a podcast with it on. If you know what I mean, they just won't entertain the idea that cannabis could be good. It's like, no, it's bad. Fuck yeah. That's and being pig ignorant.
Closed-minded. Yep, I get you.
Yeah.
Sad situation, man. I hope that they figure something out for here. But like I said, in the meantime, I still know that cannabis is being grown and consumed in Washington State. So that's better than where I live.
What happens if the USA legalize cannabis federally? What would happen in the states that are still illegal at that point? Would you be able to be in possession of cannabis federally, but you'd still get prosecuted by the state?
It depends. Okay. So some states basically rely on the federal law, and some states actually have state laws on the books that deal specifically with cannabis. So it'd be the states would have to, if the federal government tomorrow, I am not a politician, I'm not a government scholar, I'm just a stoner sitting here talking to you right now that happens to have been living in the country for a while, but as I believe I understand it, if the federal government legalized it tomorrow, the states would still have to do some legislation before it would be totally legal again, but would probably just roll over and play dead for a while, because now you're going to have a hell of a fight legally. It would make it a lot harder to win a case.
Yeah, all the states would still sort of decide on their own specific policy, wouldn't they? That's kind of how it works in Canada.
Yeah, because each state has their own penalty set. There is no federal penalties that the state of Texas or the state of Florida, the state of Georgia has. That's going to be all across the board, that if you get caught with X amount of cannabis in any state in the country, this is your fine. Every state has a different situation. So, the individual state laws there.
It'd be different carry amounts sort of thing. One state are allowed 50 grams, the other one would be 28 sort of thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's even
like that, yeah.
And I've never had this enforced, but it's even written in some states that as a tourist, I can carry around X amount, and as a resident, you can carry around more.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also you have purchase limits, resident versus a tourist, and things such as that. So I mean, and I'm okay with that. I mean, because I don't care how much I can carry around if I can get more when I need it. I don't care about the limit. That doesn't make any difference to me.
Mm-hmm.
So talking about tourism in the United States and laws and things like that, I think I got a good segue into my next article here.
Okay, cool. If you can move smoothly. Marge hasn't done hers yet, though.
Okay, well, let's do that.
Right on. So the one that I have is from the ounce.ca, formerly known as the Okanagan Z, I believe. And this is Sask, Polytech, and Mother Labs collaborate on mildew project. So Saskatchewan's Polytechnic Bioscience Applied Research Center partnered with Saskatchewan-based cannabis genetics and lab services company Mother Labs on an innovative project aimed at transforming the screening of plants for agronomically important traits. The collaboration focuses on the development of PCR-based molecular markers with specific emphasis on screening for mildew resistance in Mother Labs cannabis plants. Mother Labs approached Sask Polytech to explore the possibility of incorporating a PCR-based method of detection for agronomic traits into their breeding program by leveraging Sask Polytech's applied research expertise. Mother Labs aims to enhance their breeding and screening capabilities. Our partnership with Sask Polytech symbolizes a significant stride towards addressing a spectrum of challenges in the cannabis industry, said Jordan Hanna, Director of Operations at Mother Labs. We are committed to this collaboration to advance our understanding and management of various cultivation issues, including but not limited to powdery mildew. And this relationship not only underscores our dedication to improving cannabis genetics, but also our pursuit of innovative solutions for the evolving needs of the industry. We look forward to the continued advancement and contributions this partnership will bring to the field of cannabis genetics and genetic development. Under the guidance of Research Chair Blaine Chartrand, Theo Oates, and Mitchie Knept, 2 students from the Bioscience Technology program have played a pivotal role in this applied research project. Their primary responsibilities included extracting DNA from tissue samples and utilizing PCR-based markers to screen breeding lines for the presence or absence of specific genes. PCR tests, similar to the COVID PCR tests previously used for out-of-country travel, were employed by our students in the investigation of cannabis plants, says Chartrand. Specifically, our students use PCR testing to detect plants that contain genes for resistance to powdery mildew and to determine their sex for breeding applications. Preliminary PCR-based results were presented at the 2003 Applied Research Student Showcase last May. And it's quoted here, the polymerase chain reaction, which is PCR, is a method widely used to make millions to billions of copies of a genetic DNA sample rapidly, allowing scientists to amplify a very small sample of DNA sufficiently to enable detailed study. There are many benefits to students participating in applied research. Collaborating with Mother Labs allowed students to gain insights into the cannabis sector through facility tours and firsthand learning experiences, adds Chartrand. Oates is a Sask Polytech Bioscience Technology alumnus who is continuing his education at USask with a biology degree. He shares that nothing compares to the complicated nature of cannabis. It's a fascinating plant that is not well understood. Delving into the genomic analysis of cannabis holds numerous advantages, and we've only just begun to unravel its complexities. Oates volunteered to be part of the Mother Labs applied research project during finals and shares that while the experience was somewhat demanding during a stressful academic time, it was undeniably rewarding. I was able to accurately determine the sex of 40 different cannabis plants using PCR tests. By the end of the research project, my confidence in my abilities had significantly grown. Blaine put a lot of trust into me, and this research experience, along with my training, gave me the confidence I needed to enter a lab knowing I could do the job. Oates observes there are a lot of benefits to using cost-effective PCR-based tests to identify the sex of cannabis plants, including removing male plants to avoid accidental pollination. Other benefits include optimizing cultivation practices, improving the quality of the final product, streamlining production, and patenting genetic markers. The applied research experience enables Oates to help classmates with their studies and put them on the path for success. Knept, a second-year bioscience technology student, also worked on the Mother Labs project last fall. Knept used PCR tests to see if plants were resistant or susceptible to powdery mildew. The work with Mother Labs gave me a better understanding of the work that I will do after I complete my diploma and gave me more confidence during my lab work. I suggest all students take every opportunity to do applied research work. There's something in here that I really wanted to, this article's almost ended, but there's
Yes.
something, a line in here that was really, oh, maybe it's this next sentence. I should just keep going. The significance
I hate it
of
when
this
that happens. Shit.
The significance of this applied project extends beyond cannabis agronomic traits, with increasing demands for intellectual property protection in the cannabis industry. Having a genetic fingerprint on a particular strain is crucial. And that was it right there. So maybe we can talk about that afterwards. But as the project progresses, it is anticipated that the additional markers related to powdery mildew and other important disease resistance will emerge, further enhancing the screening process. So I think this was a pretty interesting project. And because we have legalization here in Canada, you can have these, private companies like Mother Labs partnering with a university to do this kind of research, and PCR-based testing is kind of interesting because I guess that came out of obviously the pandemic, and they're applying it to something interesting like being able to test for powdery mildew or sex a plant.
Yeah, it's good they have something to do with all them tests,
Right.
There would have been billions of those left over.
Right. And I'm not really sure how it works exactly, but I just find the one thing that made me pause a little bit was just that idea about the demand for intellectual property protection in the cannabis industry. And that kind of gives me pause because I feel like if you have these big companies that are suddenly, patenting, like, I don't know if that's happening in places. I've heard of that happening before, but I don't know if anybody's put a patent on any kind of cultivars or anything like that, like what that might do to the cannabis industry at large.
Well, wasn't there a huge scandal about this not too long ago? Was Phyllis was attempting to collect huge databases on various genetic groups, and there was originally there was a bit pitched as to try and preserve genetics, to save things and make sure that it was going to be community property and public domain. And then they found out that that was really more for their own gain. So I understand what you're saying, but do you think, I mean, personally, I don't think these are genetics. This is not gene splicing. You haven't actually gone in and physically manipulated the genealogy. You basically let a plant do what a plant does, and it made a certain seed and a certain strain. I sort of feel like that's not patentable or shouldn't be patentable. That's just, that's just plants.
Right.
I
So
don't
maybe
know.
it's just the PCR testing process that's patentable, or
I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people out there that believe patenting genetics is right. I'm just not one of them.
no.
Most of the cannabis community us are not the corporate community believes that the genetics belong to the people.
I would tend to agree with that. And I think, yeah, the whole corporatization of it, that just concentrates all the genetics in the hands of a few people who can afford them.
Yep.
Yeah, a strain name I can say because that's your trademarked name. If you know what I mean? It's because
Strain names.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem with trademark strain names. I mean, that's copyrighted material. That's fine.
Yeah.
But for me to go ahead and kind of and then we're going to go into the question of let's say that I've got some of these XYZ genetics. Is it now illegal for me to use that genetics because they quote unquote have the intellectual property on that gene line to use that to breed into something else now?
Isn't that what happened at one point with Monsanto, where they were doing that same thing to farmers, and then farmers couldn't like collect their own seeds? They had to buy them from Monsanto or something to that effect.
That was an African program that they convinced the African farmers, some of them, to switch over to the Monsanto seeds with the clause that they did not understand that they were not allowed to continue the decades-old practice of saving seeds for next year. Every year, like you said, buy new seed. But I think that is so wrong.
It is on so many levels. It's so wrong.
Didn't some of the products just not produce seeds as well, so they couldn't?
Yeah.
There's something out there right now. I'll give you an example on that one. The breeder Steve is got a process that he's not disclosing fully right now, that he can make a plant that will not produce any seed no matter what you do to it.
Really?
So it's on the horizon out there. He's figured a way of taking a clone and treating it so that no matter what you do, no matter what happens, it will never have a seed in it. Now, there is an application for that. Think about outdoor grows. You'll never have a wind-borne pollination on this. So you can have 100% weed with no seeds in it grown outdoor. That's great. But at the same time, it also opens up this Pandora's box of, well, okay, are we getting rid of seeds altogether now?
Right. Which could be why he hasn't unleashed it into the world, because Breeder Steve is still pretty cool with the cannabis industry.
He is actually releasing it out there in limited form, though. It's one of those things out there.
Right.
But it's not a process that you can produce a sterile seed. It's where you can take a clone and make it produce sterile bud. So it's, you know, it's a little different there, but if they ever figure out how to, you know, and there are people who are actually trying to breed a seed plant that won't make seed as well. I mean, it's scary what people can do out there. You know, we're taking something that's supposed to be so simple and we're complicating the hell out of it.
Yeah. Backblast said, "Nature finds a way, monkey. Haven't you seen Jurassic Park?"
And I absolutely believe
Indeed.
that, and I agree with it. If there is a way, nature finds a way.
That's
One of
Grows
those
a
right.
Jurassic
situations.
weed.
And the other thing is,
Mm-mm.
cannabis home growers find a way. One of those things, you know.
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
You know,
Here's
the
an
community finds a
interesting-
way.
Here's an interesting comment too from Brian Post in the chat. In Alberta, Monsanto was suing farmers who had GMO wheat blowing into their fields because it blew in from their neighbors, and they didn't want it, but they still had to pay for it,
Mhm.
which is the
Damn.
problem you have with that kind of those kinds of policies.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary shit.
Yeah, anytime you have huge corporations like that with mega billion-dollar lawyers and stuff like that, you can't fight that. It's just
No.
it's nearly
Mhm.
impossible.
These corporations are just there to protect their own assets. They don't really give a shit about anything else.
Their own ass what?
Yeah.
Well, I
that's
said assets. You can build wherever you like.
Sweet. So we got another one here. You want to do your next one there, Billy?
I may as well then. Right, here we go.
Let's get
Next
angry again
one
there,
is-
Billy.
Yeah, it's Aurora Cannabis still sees positive free cash flow by year end as it expands medical cannabis business. So basically, they're making more money out of it.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah,
Congratulations, Aurora.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
So Aurora Cannabis Inc. TSX and NASDAQ. Is the TSX to be the Texas Stock Exchange? No. But their shares moved higher in the early trade on Thursday after the Alberta-based medical cannabis firm reaffirmed that it is on track to achieve positive free cash flow by the end of 2024 calendar year, with a fiscal third quarter financial result that demonstrated the strength of its medical cannabis segment. So even more and more money they're making, it seems. The company will also announce that it will become the largest global medical cannabis company operating in a nationally legal market following its acquisition of Med Relief Australia, the company's
Wow.
strategic partner since 2017 that holds the number 2 position in Australia's medical marijuana market.
Sounds a
Yeah,
bit
that
like
will
a
be-
monopoly to me. Jesus.
It does a little bit, doesn't it? Eh? It extends the acquisition to be immediately accretive to its adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and fucking something else that I can't pronounce, amortization, which will allow the company to accelerate towards achieving positive free cash flow by the end of the year. So, fiscal quarter, which ends at December 31st, Aurora reported the revenue of 6.4 million, 6.44 million, up from 61 million. That makes sense there, does it?
I think
64.4, they've got the dot in the
Yeah,
wrong
man.
place. Yeah.
They put
60
another
so-
dot in there for you, didn't
Yeah.
they?
So it's gone up from
Mhm.
64 from 61 million. So they've earned an extra 3 million in the quarter.
In a quarter. Damn.
Medical cannabis revenue grew by 16% over the year to 45.5 million on higher sales in Australia and Europe. Aurora significantly narrowed its net loss over the year from 62 down to 25 million. Wow.
Mm.
By
Yeah, they
increased
had
profits
the
and
big loss
reduced
when
operating.
Sorry,
I
monkey?
suppose they had reduced operating expenses. Where would they get that from? That's
Well,
a
I think
lot of
one
money.
of it, didn't they have a huge amount of cannabis that they actually had to destroy. It had gone bad.
Right.
They must
Yeah.
have got rid of one of the facilities or something, haven't they? Something there, operating expenses.
Yeah, Canada
But
has had a history of overproducing their medical cannabis. So yeah,
but again, like the medical like statement from Aurora CEO Miguel Martin says fiscal 2024 is on track to be our strongest to date, driven by the continued strength of our differentialized business model and our focus on profitable global medical cannabis market. So that's what they're making the money on, like everyone legalizing weed. across like Europe and Australia mostly, it seems.
Mhm.
International medical net revenue grew by 41% year over year, demonstrating Aurora's ability to diverse patient needs in markets across the world.
Yeah, that's
Patients,
a lot of
my
growth.
fucking ass. Yeah, it is 41%, isn't it?
Mm.
Everyone would love to see that growth. Everyone else is probably losing 41%. And further, the company said it expects to become debt free later this month. So
Wow.
like that like shit. And they're dealing with like mega millions, like we're talking. So that's going to be just pure profit from there on, then,
Mm.
pretty much. So in the
Damn.
third quarter, it reckons like 23 million in convertible debt balance. So like their shares are up to 3.9% at 54 cents this year. So if you got any money, seems like some of these businesses.
I'm always, yeah, this is not financial advice, everybody.
I would say
don't-
stay away from investing in cannabis businesses right now.
Yeah.
They're highly
yeah, I
volatile.
would as well. Yeah,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
more
they're
likely
not
to lose money. Damn.
Not too many of them are making a lot these days.
Mm. You have to wait for that right time. But you got to wait for the streets to run red, is what they say, isn't it? That's where the money's made.
But all the current shareholders have just made a load of money. So if you've got money, you've just made money. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm. Aurora's huge then. They're like taking over the world of cannabis, really, aren't they? They're just growing and growing.
no, if you've got money
Yeah,
out
they're
there and you
massive.
can get a license, it seems like start a fucking little cannabis business. Because one of these fuckers will come over and buy it off you, and you just go and retire.
yeah, yeah.
Invest,
Yeah, for sure.
invest a million, run it
Mhm.
for a couple of years. They come along, off you 10 million quid, and you're like, yeah, go. Like,
Yeah.
That's is the strategy that I know
Yeah.
several states where people would buy up cannabis, either cultivation licenses or dispensary licenses, and they weren't really trying to keep them. But the same theory you're just having
an
right here, Billy,
investment
is
for the future.
somebody's going to come and buy you out, is what they were looking at.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth a gamble.
It's like get the license now, spend you 10 grand now, get
Yeah.
all the paperwork done because somebody's going to want it later when they don't have any more licenses. It
Sure, what
hasn't worked
other
out that
growing
well for
businesses
everybody,
are
but
there?
yeah, this is what they're thinking.
Everyone used to do it with pubs in the UK and things like that. So when they get you like
Mm-hmm.
license for that, so no different.
So what have we had so far? We've had the should Britain legalise, and Richard Branson thinks so. And then we had a question from Billy there whether the UK is even ready for legalisation of cannabis, but that was just regarding medical cannabis as well, not even recreational. Then we had some shit where they not allowing Homegrow in Washington State, which is a damn shame, and that's 10 years after the battle even started. It's crazy how they're still fighting after this long. Damn. So we have a couple left. We got that one from March as well, where they found a use for the old COVID tests. Very cool. So we have one more to cover, and then we'll get to that shitty news story.
Oh damn! Not that
Yes.
one again.
That's all right.
Ooh, I mean,
We'll
come on, that's the article just stinks, man.
Proper crap.
It leaves a funky taste in my mouth.
Oh, even worse.
Oh man.
Yeah, so we got one more from you, Monkey, right? That one's
It's
from you.
soil
Yeah.
related.
Is it what now?
The story, the shit story, it's soil related.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, okay, let's get off of that subject for just a second here.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
This is a special Sunday here in the U.S. This happens to be Super Bowl Sunday. Oh,
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
total
Yeah.
tangent right here. Great little spoof I saw in the news this morning. I had a little chuckle at this. Even though it didn't really happen, they had one of these sports internet groups got together and hired a limo driver and sent him out to the Las Vegas airport with a Taylor Swift sign. So he's out there in his limo driver uniform, standing in the terminal with a sign like he's picking up Taylor Swift. All it was just the troll everybody who was going by him. So most of the people knew it was a joke, but of course you had other people taking it seriously, taking pictures with the limo driver. I can just imagine seeing this, like, oh yeah, like she's really gonna walk straight through here. You know,
He was
Right.
claiming his 15 minutes of fame, as they say.
oh yeah, I think it's great though. But the guy, he stayed in character the whole time, and you know, and people says, "She really come in here?" So I'm her ride. I'm here to pick her up. He never said yes, you're coming through, but you know, just the right leading kind of answers there.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's pretty good. But anyway, let's go back to that Vegas airport and talk about that for a second. Forgot about that joint. Vegas airport lets people dump pot. And this is nothing super new, but let's see. What happens in Vegas really can stay in Vegas. Tourists catching a flight out of Sin City can now dump their leftover legal cannabis in metal containers set up at the airport. Yeah, most airports that I've been in legal states are now having what they call amnesty boxes or something to that effect.
That's fucking crazy, man.
They have them at Amsterdam, though, at Schiphol.
Do they really?
Do you think they get a lot in there?
Well, I mean, Chad
I would say.
Westport recently posted something on Instagram or something like that. He lives out in a legal state, and he said, yeah, he checked out the box, and he said nothing but mids in there. It's like, yeah, nothing worth keeping anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, the 10 green bins dubbed amnesty boxes prevent federal transportation agents from finding pot on passengers during security screenings. The drug is illegal in Nevada, but still banned by the U.S. government. And the TSA employees
I think you said
are government
illegal there.
employees.
And the drug is legal in Nevada, right?
The drug is legal in Nevada, but still
Right.
banned by the U.S. government. So yes, that's what it should have been said. But yeah, it's one of these situations there. It's like now I've been through airports, and TSA agents are not specifically looking for cannabis. What they're looking for is things that would endanger the flight and passenger safety. But if they just happen to scan your purse or have to go through your pocket stuff and there's cannabis laying there, they can't overlook it. It's one of those things. They won't go digging for it, but if it's in their face, don't. You know,
Right.
it's not that. And besides, and don't come back to Monkey and say, "Oh, Monkey, that's not true. They looked for it." Yeah, some places they will look for it. So disclaimer: I'm not an expert here. You know, one of those things. The containers were installed just last week following a county ban on cannabis possession and advertising at McCarran International Airport in Vegas, aiming to keep it in compliance with federal law. They are all bolted to the ground and designed so the cannabis and prescription drugs can only be dropped in and not taken out. So don't expect it to be a grab bag. Don't go over there and say, "Oh, I wonder what somebody else left." Now,
Well, if
I'm
you're just
actually,
arriving in Las Vegas, I don't know.
what's that, Marge, say again?
What if you're just arriving to Las Vegas? You could have
That's-
just. Oh,
That's
just-
what I'm saying. Well, I've actually done this before in an airport when people were arriving and we were leaving. I didn't do it. My wife did it. She actually asked people, "Would you like this? We're leaving and can't take it with us." And they took it.
Oh, nice.
So it's
Nice.
one of those things. It's like, you know, she looked at somebody and just kind of like, "We have to go and we're not going to use it. Would you like it?" And they said, "Sure." Boom, done. I mean, it's one of those things like, I'd rather do that. Either that or I'll leave it in a hotel room for the maid or something. But
Mm.
I'm not going to use the amnesty boxes. I'm sorry. It's not
Damn.
gonna happen.
And he said he don't empty
Don't
them,
give it
you
to
can only
someone.
put them in there, you know. You've actually
Yeah.
seen one of those things and it's all packed, you can't even fit shit in there anymore. Come on.
Dude, I'm sure that the boxes are damn near empty. You know, so I'm
Yeah.
just saying. People don't go up to the airport with a half a pound of weed. Oh, I
Mhm.
can't take this on the flight. I'll have to throw it in the box. If they
Yeah,
have
that-
it, it's probably a gram or two or something like that.
Mhm.
It's
roach
a
that they found in
it's
their pocket.
Imagine the
bud or half
variety in there.
half of a fruit
Damn.
roll or something like that, or, you know, a quarter of a vape cart. That kind of stuff is what you're going to find in there. Usually. Anyway, a Transportation Security Administration agencies normally hand over cannabis-related cases to local law enforcement. Las Vegas police officer Adam Ocampo Gomez said no citations have been issued stemming from the airport's ban on cannabis possession and advertising that was passed in September. The boxes are something travelers have seen before. At least 2 other airports in Colorado where recreational cannabis is also legal offer amnesty boxes. One of them is in Denver. I remember that one specifically. We are likely to be a bigger draw at Las Vegas Airport, which saw 48.5 million passengers last year. Legal sales of recreational cannabis began in the state on July 1st and have exceeded expectations. Of course, they're going to exceed expectations. This is Sin City. What do you go there for? To have fun,
Right.
right? You know, enjoy yourself, kick out, and do things you don't usually do. That's despite a
Gamble your
ban on
house away.
consuming it in public, including the Las Vegas Strip, hotels, and casinos. those 21 years and older with a valid ID card can buy up to 1 ounce of pot and use it only in private homes. Now that's always been a problem there, but I
I'm
have
surprised
heard,
about that, that
yeah,
because you can drink in public and you can smoke in public. Can you still
but
smoke in all the hotels and stuff?
in most hotels, you cannot smoke cannabis in the hotels. Even hotels that have smoking floors or have not allowed cannabis smoking in the rooms, from what I understand.
That's why I
What
find
was
it
it?
surprising, because I remember the casinos you could smoke in like smoke cigarettes in casinos and stuff.
Yeah, it's cannabis is being treated completely differently, but what I've heard and recently on some watched a few shows and some different articles on Vegas, what they're going on there, and they say that in general, and I'm always skeptical about saying this, so people remember I'm saying this is in general, it's not your permission to go do this, but in general, the Vegas police officers say if someone is consuming cannabis in public on the strip, behaving themselves and just kind of being discreet, they generally just kind of walk by.
Mm,
They don't
right.
hassle people. And
Mhm.
because they realize it is a problem and that tourists are coming there to consume and they need something. So consumption lounges are starting, they're coming in, and there's even a hotel that is planned that is going to be a consumption hotel.
Well,
So,
especially when like you can drink on the street and people drink openly on the
mhm,
street.
right.
So I don't know what the problem is with the weed. Obviously, the bigger problems the police are going to have are dealing with drunk people, probably, than with somebody discreetly smoking some weed in a corner somewhere.
Yeah, it's usually the cannabis guy is the more chilled out good dude, and the drunk is the guy who wants to fight everybody or something like that.
Right.
That's again generalization. Don't mean
Yeah.
to offend anyone with those, but that's usually what I've seen is that weed smoker wants to share his stuff, and the drunk basically just wants to fight you for another drink. It's crazy.
Right.
Let's see. The airport disposal box of Clark County ordinance. Airport boxes display Clark County ordinances are clearly marked with a black, bold front font stating disposal for prescription and recreational drugs. They contrast sharply with nearby trash cans. A contractor, not police, will initially empty the boxes multiple times per week and then adjust the schedule as a usage patterns developed. Cruz said that the county aviation department plans to install 20 bins but could only add, but could add more. In addition to the boxes placed Friday outside the airport, 3 were set up at nearby car rental facilities. The
My one
remaining,
question. Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just curious, who's disposing of their prescription drugs?
Well, it's a contractor, is all they're saying. And I kind of thought about that. It's like the contractor going through and said, well, I'll take this, take this, take this. What's the deal here, you know? And I don't understand. If they're legal prescription drugs, why are you disposing of them?
Yeah,
Well,
like
you
when
can't take them on the airplane.
Yeah.
It's your prescription. That's legal to transport.
Right. It doesn't make sense.
No, that didn't.
Mm.
But I mean, it's, you know, the boxes, I guess it has to say legal or recreational, illegal or recreational. It's one of those things.
Hmm.
Oh, no, that is kind of curious stuff. I've never had any TSA person, if I had medicine in my pocket or a carry-on of any kind like that, they never looked at my medicine and looked at my ID to make sure it was mine or anything. It's like you're carrying your medicine. Big deal.
Right. Yeah, it's prescription, so it's all good.
Yeah. It's not the green stuff. We're fine with that.
Yeah.
You know? It's the way it is. The remaining seven bins will be installed in smaller area airports and other department-owned properties, and that's the end of the article. But anyway, so you can now have an amnesty box in Las Vegas. You know, good to have on Super Bowl weekend, because I have a feeling there's going to be a run on a lot of cannabis being sold this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Super Bowl's on very soon, everybody. Are you all prepared for the Super Bowl?
Oh, the Puppy Bowl's already over, man.
Yeah, I don't even know what the Puppy Bowl is.
It's some stupid thing. I've never even watched the whole episode of it. It's let's just say it's a commercial with dogs.
Right, so we have this this shitty article that we've been trying to get to for the whole show. And this one's a bit of a long news episode, so we'll get this wrapped up here. But I think there's nobody set to report on this one, so I think Margie is the right person to take this one on.
I'd be glad to. I'd be glad to.
What happened, Marge?
You've been holding So let's find out what's been held in for so long. So
What
this
the-
comes. You guys were a little slow on that one, but
Ah,
anyway.
shit. Woo, that was a good one, Marge. That's fucking smart, man. Jesus. Sorry. Okay.
No, that's okay. Texas woman defecates in pants to hide drugs during arrest. Yes, you heard that right. Oh, I'm surprised this was Texas. I would have been not surprised if it had been Florida, but police say a Texas woman attempted to hide evidence during an arrest by defecating in her pants and using the feces to conceal drugs. Officers in Corsicana, about 55 miles south of Dallas, were investigating a report of a theft at a grocery store on Wednesday when they attempted to subdue a female suspect and take her into custody. Police say they placed Shannon Martin in the back of a police cruiser where they say she intentionally defecated in her pants, then hid a crack pipe, 2.3 grams of crack cocaine, and a Valentine's Day card in her excrement.
Oh yes, be mine.
How much shit did she have?
Valentine's Day.
Hey, hiding a pipe and a cart? Are you shit? Jesus.
That last detail is a real head scratcher, but then again, she was crack, so officers had to sift through the woman's feces to retrieve the evidence after Martin was booked on charges of tampering with evidence and possession of a controlled substance.
Oh God, that's
Tampering with
bad.
evidence.
That's bad.
Oh,
Oh,
I
picking
don't
through
understand
it.
though why the Valentine's Day card. Like, was there something incriminating in it that
how much did she defecate to hide the card? I mean,
I don't know.
there's so many questions. So many.
Why hide the card? Why was she trying to hide that?
That's
There's no
what I'm
problem with a
saying.
Valentine's Day card.
Like, yeah, that part doesn't make sense. And tampering with evidence, that does make sense because obviously that crack cocaine is no good for anybody anymore.
I know that might be some good shit now, Marge.
That's right, man. I heard it was good shit.
Oh God, that's so
Can you
bad.
imagine? I mean, I'm not no big fan of the police, but if that was your day on the job, oh shit.
I mean, the ability of this woman just to be able to crack it out like that, just go ahead and defecate on command, and then have the wherewithal to show them a Valentine's card and add a crack pipe full of crack in it. It's like just
It
the
actually
mind
just
goes
drops this
blank.
shit, hides the evidence and things. Ain't nobody gonna go anywhere near that.
I'm not going to touch it. You touch it.
Oh god. And then
Oh
she
my
was
God.
smell the whole time while they were doing the lockup or whatever.
Oh,
They're not making friends that way.
oh God,
No,
that's so
no.
bad. Yeah, not all heroes wear capes. Thank you to those officers for cleaning up the shit. Jesus. You never see anything on that, like on an episode of Cops or anything? You know, that would have been a good episode. Jesus. Billy, you've been quiet here. You've taken your socks off. You like this story a bit
Yeah,
too much,
sorry,
don't
yeah,
you?
that's my favourite part of the act. That was I was rubbing my thighs and everything for that one. Yeah.
Like, ooh, defecation. That's my
Oh, yeah.
favourite.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Also, I was actually I was scrolling through the list to see whose girlfriend that could have been, but there's just too many of them out there to say.
Oh,
Really,
no.
you'd have to do one of
Yeah.
them wheel spins, I think, just to decide.
Yeah.
Like,
How did they weigh that crack? Was that
Oh, that's a
That's a
good
good question.
point.
yeah,
was that a contaminated weight or was that a clean weight?
I think there's no way it could be uncontaminated because they would have got a hold of it after the incident occurred. So 2.3 grams, was it really 0.3? Or was that poop?
also, I want to know how big was the card? Was it one of them giant ones, or what? Was it a pop-up card? Like,
You know, it was
Right,
A4,
right,
A5,
yeah,
what we
A4,
saying?
Yeah, it's like bloody, so many questions about the card. Was it signed? Who was it from? Like,
Did it have a badge on it?
yeah, it did have a badge. Yeah,
Maybe it was from her dealer,
Yeah.
and that's why she felt she had to shit on it.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
that was the gift was in the card. It was the 2.3 grams inside of the card.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe.
I love your crack like you love mine. Sort of thing, like.
There, you store this crack in your
Yeah.
crack. Is that the deal?
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Jesus.
I just
Right,
don't
yeah.
understand.
Crazy story.
Yeah, what a shitty way to end the show. But how many puns can we get out of this before we wrap it up? You know?
We could go for days on this, but I don't know if we really
It was
want
cracking. proper crap.
But at the same time, everybody, with this news article, I know we just brought to your attention all the poop and all of that, but Valentine's Day card was also mentioned. Valentine's Day is coming up, everybody. If you haven't sorted that out yet, do you think? Go get the cards and that. It's coming just a few days away now. So there's a nice reminder for you here.
Yeah.
That's right.
What a way to get reminded. Yeah, really, exactly. Oh, I'm glad you did that story. It reminded me. It's
That was a
Valentine's Day.
useful story.
Yeah.
You're
It got
welcome.
loads of people out of the shit.
They're all wondering how many roses they can stuff up there now. Like, I wonder if I can put 12 up there.
Oh, jeez. Watch out for the thorns, though, Billy.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
you're going to have to deep
That's
thorn them
true.
first, didn't you? Yeah. So
Just
deep
bend
thorn
over and be
the
like,
roses first.
ta-da!
As a safety tip,
I don't know. Is that a British vase or something like that?
Shit, ta-da.
Toblerone, because it's a bit longer and more triangly, yeah?
Yeah. Right, that's all the news. I think we should
That's
move
all
on
the
to the
news,
outro. Let's get the fuck out of here. Good Jesus.
That was the outro, wasn't it?
Oh, the outro's on now. The outro's on now. The music's playing. I'm gonna do some kind of professional fade out. You know how it is. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that. Fading. Professional outro. Nice. Yes, so there we go, everybody. That was the cannabis news and events. We didn't do the forum news. We had a few little pieces of forum news to cover there. We did mention at the start about the change of the structure. So there's not going to be any grow guides for a while until we figure out what we're going to do with the whole show. We just feel as if it's a bit redundant to repeat them
Listener
so
mail.
soon. I think we could do like episodes of listener mail when we have a bunch of questions
Okay.
and just
yeah,
do
yeah.
specials like
A
that.
whole special
Yeah.
listener mail.
Yeah. And that would be cool as well. We just need to make sure we
Yeah,
have
that'd be
enough
cool,
questions to
yeah.
last for like 40 minutes
So
to an hour. And
Tell the knobheads in chat about it now then.
that's right, yeah.
So that, yeah.
Yeah,
Oi, knobheads
yeah.
in chat. Oi,
Yeah.
chankers.
Yeah.
Start getting your questions in.
So inappropriate, but I'm going to have to edit all of that out there. God
Yeah, but this is the outro, isn't it?
damn. Yeah, but they can still hear us, Billy.
Oh, right. I can
Jesus.
Yeah,
hear
you
it.
gotta wait till he says cold mics.
Yeah, cold mics is
That-
the
I
is the
know.
word.
I know they consider it.
Is-
That's what I was
Cold mics is
talking
the
about.
safe word, Billy.
Oh, cold mics,
Oh,
everybody.
Yeah.
But it's not cold mics now.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Yeah,
This
still
is a
hot mics.
test. This is a
But
test.
is that when I?
Let's
I'm not
let's not
sure. Is
say
that
the
when I
word.
stop rubbing or start rubbing? I'm not sure. The routine.
Mhm. Yeah, and one question could take 20 minutes, says John Carlson. Yeah, that's cool, man. The questions we can get like that, that's cool as well. We're happy to discuss anything. Just send us in questions if you want them. And once we get, like, I don't know, a list of some good questions that we can discuss, we'll do a listener mail section. So that's on the cards as well. It's just the Grow Guides thing, starting from the beginning right now. I don't think it's... we just don't want to drag it out and make content for the sake of making content. You know, you can go and listen to all of the Grow Guides. It's already there. We're just repeating ourselves at this point. I just think nobody wants that. You know, yeah, there was no episode on Friday as well. You might notice that there was no episode of Grow Guides on Friday. And that's because I just didn't think it was good enough to release. You know, it was just me on my own chatting shit for an hour about Grow Guides. And I just didn't think it was beneficial. I didn't want to waste anybody's time, essentially, and release a poor quality episode. So I didn't release it. But there we go. You know, just being honest, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't be on your game all the time.
That's right. Yeah. So I don't know what the plan is now with the Grow Guides. We've got some ideas, but it's not going to be. We're going to take a couple of weeks deciding what we're going to do with that. But yes, cannabis news. We've done that one. So there's not going to be any Grow Guides now. It's break time, everybody. Finish up early. Go and watch a movie, some TV
Watch the
shows.
Super Bowl.
The Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
That's right. Is Taylor Swift at the halftime show? I don't know.
No, she's not. No, she's not performing. Usher is, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
Who is
God.
the halftime performer this year? There's normally a big commotion about it, but it's just been about Taylor Swift's going to turn up this year, isn't it? Really?
It's
Mm.
just that
Usher.
she'll be showing up in a box watching her boyfriend play. But yeah, like Marge just said, Usher's your main line performer.
And what else? I think that's just about everything then. And the outro's there, so yes.
Mhm.
So no
That's a
jokes
coming-
about Taylor Swift's box then, yeah?
No, not this time. She sues people for saying bad things about her now. You're not seeing that?
Oh, right. Better not say nothing then.
Oh, we could get famous by being sued by Taylor Swift then, you know?
Yeah,
There you
goddamn.
go.
No, I really don't want to troll her. More, I like people to be happy. If she's in love, great, fantastic.
Well, like I say, is Beyonce had the greatest album of all time.
Oh, geez, did you hear that at the Grammys? Oh, Lord, that was ridiculous. What is he talking about? What the
Oh
hell?
God, it's so funny.
You guy, I'm waiting for y'all to get it right. You got to get it right. Like, what the hell? What is he saying? I just didn't understand that.
Yeah,
It was like Kanye too.
Kanye, man, very misunderstood guy.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Very
He-
entertaining though.
Yeah, he's made some good tunes, man. I do like some of his tunes. But anyway,
And said some funny
that's for a
shit.
different show altogether. We will catch you on Sunday for the next one, unless you are a Patreon, and then we should catch you on Tuesday with a CH, not a T, Tuesday, for the interview with Jesse Lavoie from Toba Grown. We should be able to find out what's going on his side of things.
Yeah,
So-
also fighting for the right to grow weed in Manitoba.
Because that
Definitely,
struggle isn't over yet either.
Mhm.
Madness. So that's it for this week. We'll catch you on the next one, everybody. Stay high, stay safe. And of course, like we said, we want to do some drop-in panel members. So if you are interested in being on the panel sometime, get in touch, over on Percys, but preferably members that we already know. You know what I mean? No dodgy people just coming out of nowhere being like, I'll do it. We have to get to know you a little bit first. Like Billy, he's not dodgy at all.
No.
You know what I'm saying, Billy?
No,
Great
not at all,
example.
mate. Not at all. Mate.
Mm-hmm.
No, we have to get you in a Zoom room so you're a little bit more familiar with the controls and the format before we go to a show. So
Yes.
it's not just like, hey, show up on Sunday and you're in.
That's
We
right.
got to do a little bit more.
Come and join us for a session if you can handle this level of professionalism. That's right.
You're not selling it at all, Matthew.
The laugh was just timed perfect right there. Yes.
That's right. Stay high and stay safe, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye,
Goodbye.
everybody.
Goodbye.
Cheers, guys.
Everybody wave.
Later.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.